friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Father John Newville. I'm coming from Houston, Texas, and I would like to invite you to join this channel in which we have one particular mission, and that is to provide support to people who are experiencing such a difficult thing in life called grief. Now, grief has so many definitions, so many things have been said about grief and sorrow. Everybody thinks that they have the right version of it, and the truth of the matter is grief is individual to the person who are experiencing, depending on the circumstances that they are surrounded by, depending on how you came to grieve for the first time, how early or later in your life you have a really true experience of grief, and depending also on the support network that you have by your side. Through this series of videos, I plan to bring to you information that hopefully is going to be useful for you, whatever the circumstances you're going through and wherever you are. I hope that you find some value. If so, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell at the bottom of the video. That will help us to create more content. If you have comments, if you have questions, whatever the situation might be, hey, you don't have to face this alone. You have a community around you that, without anybody knowing, are going through the same or similar situation. So again, I said before that so many things have been said about grief and sorrow, and everybody thinks that they have the right word. Now, let's start by checking the meaning of the word grief according to Wikipedia. Wikipedia says that grief is the response to loss, particularly to the loss of someone or some living thing that has died. I'm gonna leave it right there. Now, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the definition of grief is deep and poignant distress caused by loss, a cause such as suffering, trouble, and annoyance, etc., etc. Now, there is another website, it's called Mayo Clinic, and they have a more interesting approach to the definition of the word grief. They say grief is a strong, sometimes overwhelming emotion for people, regardless of whether their sadness stems from the loss of a loved one or from terminal diagnosis, etc., etc. Now, if we look into what we just read, according to Wikipedia, is a response to loss. According to the dictionary, is a distress, and according to Mayo Clinic, is a strong, sometimes overwhelming emotion. Now, we have three things here. It's a response, it's an emotion, it's a distress. What is grief? Is it a process? See, we even have, you probably have been exposed to this, somebody at some point probably have mentioned to you the steps of grief, that you're supposed to go from one to the other one and to the other one. Some people, many counselors, I'm guilty, I've done this in the past, describe this as a process. Now, the truth of the matter is that grief is indeed painful, difficult, and there are moments of darkness and solitude that hurt beyond explanation. Sometimes there are no words to describe what is really happening inside the person who is grieving. Now, over my last 10 years of experience as a hospice chaplain, I had the opportunity of working with beautiful people and see firsthand how different people go in different ways and how people go through grief in different directions. But what is the purpose of grieving? What is the purpose of this bereavement and this pain? Nothing is without a reason and nothing is without a purpose. I'm not here to talk to you from the religion point of view, but for a more practical approach. See, I'm not a psychologist, full disclosure, I'm not providing you psychological advice. I'm not licensed counselors per se. All that I am is a ordained ministry who has been working with the hospice community in Houston for the past 10, almost 11 years. And I want to provide support to anyone who is going through this grief. Now, the origin of grief certainly is painful, certainly is difficult, but the destination doesn't have to be. See, It doesn't matter how much pain you're going through, life goes on. And the people that are supporting you at the funeral and expressing their condolences, a week from now, they're going to be busy, going back to the normal jobs, going back on vacation. Then life moves on. If you're lucky, you will receive a support letter on your mail from one or two friends or family members. But eventually, you're going to find that you are by yourself. You're going to find lonely. And then it's when going to hit you. That's when you're going to feel that pain and that absence, that somebody that you used to love so much is no longer there. Now, what will that person think of you? If they will have the opportunity to talk to you from wherever they are, will they like for you to be miserable? Will they like for you to feel like a loser? Will they like to see you going down the streets without a purpose? In the contrary, I believe that for those who are already left, they will take some satisfaction in knowing that you found a way to cope with that loss on a healthy way, that you found meaning in your life together, and that you have the strength, the faith, and the wisdom to carry on with the legacy. When you think about that, grief having a beginning and grief having a destination, then we come to the more practical definition of grief. Grief is a journey. It's a journey because you're gonna have some difficult days, some difficult challenge. Eventually, you're gonna find some good and happy memories together. Eventually, you're gonna find yourself being motivated and energetic. Eventually, you're gonna find again sad, going down. It's like a roller coaster. But someone at some point is gonna say something that will make you feel better. Sometimes in the middle of nowhere, without even prepared for it, that loved one is gonna come to your mind and it's going to make you smile. And it's gonna to give you strength and encouragement. And you might find yourself worried, tearful even, and out of the sudden, for some reason, you're gonna be smiling and laughing about your time together or certain experiences with that person. That, my friends, is a journey. It has ups, it has downs, but it has beautiful landscape that we can explore once you identify the problem and once you take the challenge. I invite you to join this channel and walk with us. We want to be with you every step of the way. Sometimes an experience or a memory that you might have, you might think that is insignificant, you might think that is silly, but if you share the experience with somebody else, you will be surprised the amount of people that will find benefit on that. So if anything, what I want to accomplish with this channel and with this series of videos is to encourage people to embrace your grief. Because this is like any other problem. You can be facing addiction, whatever it is, to alcohol, to drugs, to pornography. The first step into fixing that solution, that problem, is to face it, to accept it. So yes, you probably have lost somebody that you love. In some instances, more than one family member. Or you might be close to lose somebody that you love. Speaking of people who are in hospice, for instance, or ICU clinic. Grief is scary. Grief is difficult. We don't want to go and experience it and have to deal with it. But I can assure you, if you face it, if you embrace it, if you receive the right kind of advice and guidance, and if you accept the support that other people are willing to offer, grief can be healthy. And that's the name of this channel, A Healthy Grief Journal. And I hope that you join our channel, and I hope to hear from you. I will keep you in my prayers. I will answer every single email, and I will be here for you every step of the way. Join us for the next series of videos in which we're going to start talking about more things related to grief. And we're also going to have another series of videos called Understanding Hospice. Until then, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thank you for your likes and for your prayers. Bye-bye.